Hi, friends. How are you doing today? Ready to read our book all about floods? I know. So, what did we say floods were? What are floods? Tell mama. Yeah. So, floods are when there is a placement of water that comes from somewhere and the ground can't soak it up. So it's a overflow of water and it can't be soaked up by the ground. So it just goes everywhere, any spot, any room it needs. That's what it does. So there are some other, what do you want to say? Some other things that you might think is a flood, but it's not. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And then I'm going to show you sometimes people think that floods are tsunamis, and they're not. Floods and tsunamis are two different things. Tsunamis is where this is the tsunami and this is a flood. A tsunami is where a series of waves or water comes and displaces in large volumes. So where floods, it's an overflow of water that cannot be soaked up. So, and then also some people think that typhoons typhoons are a type of flood too, but they're not. Typhoons is more so of a cycle outside. So it's a type of tropical cyclone. So it's just a type of weather. So it is not a flood either. Just remember, a flood is an overflow of water that cannot be soaked up by the ground. So we are also going to talk about what does the flood, how can it be damaging, or what are some things that we see in the book that are damaged from the flood? So let's look and see. All right. So if we're looking in our book, Floods, and remember the author is the person that wrote the words, and the author is Matt Doden, and the illustrator is the person who took the photographs or drew the pictures. So right here, what do we see in the cover? What do we see that is damaged? What's damaged? These are what? Houses. Yeah. So let's see. What is damaged here? What do we see that's damaged here? What's damaged here? The car. The car and whatever branch or tree that is, that's damaged too. Let's see what else? What's damaged? Ooh, what's damaged here? The bed is damaged. The wall is damaged. And it looks like the floor too, right? That's a lot of damage from just water. Water that we drink. Let's see. Do we see anything damaged here? No, not really, but we do see some danger. So we got to be cautious and be safe. So we know not to drive in there so we won't damage or mess up our car. Do we see anything damaged here? No, we don't. And what about in this picture? Anything damaged? Nope, because remember they were talking about giving information out to people to let us know what's going on, right? With the floods and how we can stay safe. And here, do we see anything damaged? Nope, but they're trying to help prevent the damage, right? By putting the sandbags. So yeah, that would be, yeah, it is a lot of stuff can be damaged. So I'm going to talk about damage still, and we could talk about here these. Remember we said damage, but this floods are also disasters. So they damage things, but it is a natural disaster. Meaning natural, just meaning that it just happens. Nobody can make it happen. It just happens. So there are some natural disasters that we have all the time. So the common one is, meaning common meaning it happens a lot, is the flood. The flood is a disaster. As you can see, down the street. Then we have, and we just had this happen to us. What kind of disaster is this? It's a what? Snowstorm, right? So what did it damage? It looks like it might damage the cars, right? Yeah. So this is a natural disaster. What about this one? Ooh, that's a natural disaster, huh? What happened? The tree, yes, the tree fell on the house. So now the house is damaged, right? And that was a disaster, something that we could not stop from happening, right? What's this one? This is a disaster, but it's not a disaster from water or from snow. It just looks like the what? It just fell apart, the building. Yeah, it was a disaster, right? Yeah. And then let's see. What happened? What's this disaster? What do you think happened? Yes, the house caught on fire. Yeah, it did. And if that happened, who would you call? Or what would happen? You would call 911. Yes, and who else? Who would come? Would the police come? No, the firefighters would come. So yeah, these are all natural or just things that disasters happen, just meaning something that happened and you didn't even know it was going to happen. So it was like a guess, like a surprise, but it wasn't a good surprise. It was a scary surprise. So all of these are disasters. The natural disasters are the flood and the snowstorm, where sometimes we can, and the tree falling, that's natural. But sometimes we can prevent or not let things like fires happen. That's why we make sure that we stay away from the fire, we turn the stove off, all of these, all of those things to keep us nice and safe. So floods is a natural disaster and it happens very often. So we will read tomorrow and I will show you some videos. I will, of different floods. I know, and I'll show you them tomorrow. All right, friends. Well, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.